Excellent. So 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chuck, K0ITP. I am the current board president for the Longmont Amateur Radio Club. If you're a member, thank you. If you're not a member, welcome to the meeting. We appreciate you showing up, and everybody's welcome in our club. We're not impartial. A Nassau Space Center, I like that. Thanks, Trevor.
Hey, Chuck,
Yes,
you
sir.
can be labeled as the BBMFIC, big bad mean fellow in charge.
I'm not mean though. I try not to be anyways. I got a couple announcements and then we'll go around and see if any of the board members have anything. One, as a reminder, we got Winter Field Day coming up on the 29th, I believe it is. Yep, 29th. It's at the Clover Building at the fairgrounds. So if you're interested, get a hold of Doug. It's going to run from, he said 9 to 2 or noon to 5, something. I think noon to 5. He's looking for people around 11 o'clock for setup. We're going to put up a 40 meter and a 20 meter antenna and use our two, the Go Box and our other Kenwood that we have for the club and put those up and try to make some contacts. I'll be out there for a little bit in the morning as well. Yeah. Your alarm pills just went off. Couple other things is, I don't know if everybody's splatter came out today. So if you get a chance, take a look at that. I know Kat works hard on that, and I want to thank everybody who participates in the splatter and gives articles. We're always looking for articles for the splatter. So if you got something you'd like to write up, please do so. If you're a member of the club, you can put an article on the website and post it as well. You just log in and there's a button to post an article. You can write something up and get it on the website as well. The other thing, if you get a chance to read the article, I haven't put it on the website yet, but I mentioned last month and kind of, told the board I was going to do this, but kind of challenged. I'm challenging everybody again. This is your club, not mine. It's not the board's, but come up with some ideas if you want to do something. I would like to see one event once a month for the club. No matter if it's how small or how big it is, just let's all get together. Well, not necessarily all of us, we all can't do it unless you really want to. But let's do something once a month that's club related. This month, of course, is Winter Field Day. Next month, I'm going to do a fox hunt. It'll probably be in Longmont. Not sure where I'm going to hide the fox yet. I'm still working on that. But even if it's a simple something like that, we also have somebody would like to is going to Ed has graciously offered to host a class of building a simple. I don't know if you're still going to do the build a simple transistor radio or what he's looking at, but have kind of a hands-on class to build something, a homebrew type class. I was talking last night with Bryan. We may do a satellite get together and go track satellites one day. Just whatever the thing is. It can't be me and the board doing it all the time. Like I said, if we get board members to help in, we can get more accomplished and get more done. And we can do more than once a month. That's not a problem. I just like to see something at least once a month this year. And I think we need that. Hopefully I'll get Mike, W0KKI, and maybe the two of us will go out and do another POTA and people can come join us again as well and things like that. So keep an eye on the calendar and the website for more information, but we're trying to make things happen and keep it interesting because that's what we need. That's what I like to do. That's what this hobby's all about. We got to try something different because you can always play and come up with something new. Any board members have any questions or any announcements they'd like to bring up?
Send an email out, Chuck, to the board members, trying to get SkyHub in for a presentation.
Yep, saw that.
And hopefully we can get them involved for Santa on the Air later in the year, get more people involved. So talk to Jack Rowland. He's a PR and admin folk and getting him involved. And we're just trying to set a time up for that. So
okay.
Hope that'll schedule something for one of the months coming up.
I love that. I love that. I'm starting to get more involved with SkyHub myself. I think I just submitted my membership for them, so I'd love to see more involvement with Sky Hub.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great presentation. Another one that I'm working on in the background also is I'm trying to get a MARS presentation as well, which is the Military Amateur Radio Service. I've already been in contact with them, so hopefully we'll get a presentation from them one month also with the club. So your board is working hard to get you some very different, unique, and interesting presentations for our monthly presentation. So, and as a club member, you're more than welcome. By all means, if you know somebody or even yourself, you'd like to do a presentation on something, please don't hesitate to speak up. Another thing I'd like to announce, which Steve didn't, but I will, we are also associated with King Supers. So King Supers has a loyalty program, and if you have their card, a percentage of that, and it doesn't cost you anything, but we're signed up as a nonprofit with them. And if you sign us up as your nonprofit that you'd like to help support, they donate a portion back to us. So last month, I think we had 8 families, and I think it was like $56 or something. So, every little penny goes to the club, helps out, keeps our repeaters running, gives an opportunity to do events and things like that. So thank you for everybody who signed up for that. And if you haven't and you'd like to, please do so. It's a great way to help the club out. Something else I was going to bring up.
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Based on the recent fire down in Louisville, I'd like to put in a pitch for bee cares. Anybody who's interested, you can go to the website, bouldercountyarres.org, and the latest post out there show you a copy of the action report. So if you're interested in seeing that, we've got a number of folks working on their membership application, about 8 of them folks. Ramon is one.
Yeah, I think I'm still working on my ICS 200, so I'll let you know when I get that done, Jerry.
I got you on the list there, David. And
Okay.
I also want to mention along with that, our EC for BCARES, Boulder County Amateur Radio Emergency Services EC, Alan Bishop, is on the schedule for a presentation at the February general LARC meeting. So he's already presented to the club up in Netherlands and had a really good time doing that. He's got a good presentation for us. Got him on his calendar for the 3rd Wednesday of February.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I actually talked to the club president, Nederland, at the Hamfest. So they're excited to work with other clubs as well. They're just a small group up there, but they're really excited to be involved with other groups as well. So we're going to try to work with them and see what we can do to help them out and what maybe they can do for us if we need to. Any other board members have anything they'd like to bring up this evening?
Yeah, Chuck, I've got a couple things.
There's Bryan. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, we had a good VE session on this Sunday. There were 6 total candidates tested. All of them passed what they came for. So we wound up with 1 new tech, 2 new generals, and then there were 2 upgrades to general and 1 gentleman who upgraded to extra. They all got their call signs yesterday, so be on the lookout for any new call signs on the repeater. Looks like the FCC is currently assigning KF0H call signs in our call area. Our next scheduled test session is Saturday, February 26th. So you've got a little time to study before that one. It is an ARRL session, so there is a $15 fee to take the test. Not sure if it's been mentioned already, but Kat got the splatter out earlier today for January, so that's out. Have a look at that. This next one, I'm debating on whether I should even bring this up, but Gigaparts is having a sweepstakes contest. If you're a licensed amateur, you can enter, it looks like you can enter once a day on their website, which is gigaparts.net, and then /sweepstakes. And they've got a bunch of drawings for some pretty nice sounding prizes. I also wanted to mention the North American single sideband QSO party will be held this weekend on the typical contest HF bands. I believe this is a fairly big contest, so there should be a lot of opportunities to make some contacts or to try out HF radio contesting if you're interested in looking into that. And I also came across an article on the ARRL webpage about the Aries activation in the recent fire. And in the last paragraph, they were talking to Jim Andrews, KH6HTV, who some of you might remember recently presented to the club on amateur TV. And it mentioned that he lost his house in the fire, as well as his daughter's house, who lives next door to them. So anybody that knows him, he could probably use a little cheering up right about now. Anyway, that's all I've got.
All right. Doug, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, we have I sent an email out to everybody. And we're going to do winter field day on the 29th. In the email, I said this coming Saturday, which would be a couple days from now, which is a mistake. So I'm going to send another email out to everybody reminding them that the date was correct, September 29th. We're going to do it over at the Clover Building at the clubhouse, and we've rented it. And we'll have 2 radios like we had last year. We had one radio that worked on a 20-meter dipole. I think that was the Go Box, and then we had another radio. I'll have the Club's IC 7000, and it'll work on 40 meters or vice versa. We'll have 2 antennas, 40-meter end-fed ZEP. It's a long antenna, but we're on a little hill there, and we know where to tie it off down there to the east. So it'll be kind of a north-south antenna. The 20-meter one we put in the parking lot, and it'll be east-west antenna. I mean, east-west mean will be the RF will be directed east and west. And we worked a number of people last year. I don't remember how many. I have the logs here in my computer, and it was in the splatter, probably in the February splatter of last year. So we invite everybody to lunch stew. It's kind of a social activity. We're not planning on having lots of food. We don't know how many people will be there. I hope to bring a bunch of cups so we can at least get some water out of the kitchen there in the building. And it should be fun. If somebody wants to bring a digital station, why that would be good also, but you need to let me know about it. We could put the digital station up someplace. And for our field day in June, most of our contacts and points came from a guy who brought his own complete station, and he worked digital all day Saturday and almost all day Sunday, well, until noon. So we'll be on the air from noon until 5 p.m. Then we'll take everything down and go home and get warm again.
Hey, Doug, how's Freddie doing?
I talked to him today. He didn't say how he was doing, but he will be there. He will have his laptop, and I'll have my laptop like we did last year, and it has N3 FJP contesting software on it. And we'll be doing computer logging. That way we don't have to do hand entry and all that stuff. And it tells us what United States zones we've worked in, and it does all the counting and all the math for us. Other questions?
Yeah, I know he had COVID, Doug, for a while and was feeling pretty bad. So, you know, hope he's recovered from all of that.
I think he is. He's back at work, and so he feels that he's ready.
Yeah, he's a good NRA contact as well.
Yeah, he likes hunting. Yeah, he's an avid hunter, I think. He even goes in the wintertime.
All right. Anything else, sir, Doug?
Any more questions? If no, back to you.
All right, thanks, sir. I would ask one more time, if you haven't put your call sign next to your name, if you would do so, we appreciate it. And then I'm going to bring up one more thing. Jerry doesn't know about this, and neither does Steve, K0FTJ, because he's our membership chair. He's probably going to kill me, but no, actually he's not going to kill me because I'm taking care of it anyways. I have a challenge for everybody for 2023 or 2022, not 2023. Jerry and I run usually the ham nets all the time. I am challenging you to step out of your box and run a net one night. Or actually, in this case, I am going to pay for 1 year's membership to LARC to anybody who does it 5 times in 2022 that hosts a net. That goes for the Hamlet net on Tuesday nights or Jerry's net on Thursday night. So if you'd like to try to do something different and you want to do it for 5 times during the year, we would appreciate it. That way we know we've got net controllers for the Thursday night and Tuesday night. You do it 5 times. I'm taking care of your membership for you for a year. So that's a challenge I got for folks. If you want to do it, that's great. If you don't, I understand. But I thought maybe I would throw it out there and see how many people would be interested in taking me up on my my offer. So I mentioned it the Hamlet net last night. I was going to mention it tomorrow night if I get on the Thursday night net, but if I don't, so Jerry, I'm helping you out here, buddy. So hopefully we'll get some more net controllers and take care of some of the times that we can't do it.
Yeah, I will announce it tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be on me. So you just do it 5 times during the year, either net. Either contact Jerry, N0OUW, or myself, K0ITP. We'll sign you up for one of the nights, and like I said, 5 times, and I'll take care of a year's membership for you with the club. Okay. All right. Without further ado, if nobody's got anything else, Mike, WB0MH, I've already made you the co-host, sir. So the crowd is yours.
Thank you kindly. First of all, can everybody understand me fairly clearly with no problem? I've got Chuck and I met Monday, and I came up with some ideas that I presented to him, and I thought he was kind of interested, so I thought I'd pass it on. One of the things is DC supply and grounding at your station. What I have here at my house, I've got a switching power supply feeding into an AGM battery. And why an AGM? It's sealed, so it's not going to leak any fumes into the house. And I got all my radio equipment, everything DC powered is powered off that battery as well as a power supply. So my HF rig normally draws 16 amps or so when I key up with the battery in there. It only draws 7 or 8 amps. So it really makes a difference. The other side of the coin with it is I came off the negative terminal of the battery and I put it straight to a ground rod outside. So everything that's DC powered is physically DC grounded, not RF, but it is DC grounded, and that makes for a lot cleaner operation of the station. So that's just an idea I wanted to pass out. I don't know if everybody appreciates that or not. Comments? I see Steve, AGY, nodding his head.
If you had a comment, then you can just unmute yourself if you'd like. Everybody's been muted, so.
I think that's awesome. I'm taking notes.
It's a good idea. And one other really good advantage is it smooths the DC out. So it's buffered and it's smoothed out for the rest of your equipment, no matter what it is. So it makes it a lot easier to work with. All right, I'm going to try and get started here if I can figure this complicated machinery out. Let's see, where am I at?
You should be able to open up your PowerPoint and then share your screen.
Right
there you go.
Here. All right, everybody can see that?
Yep, we got it.
All right, the single most important day for a ham is not his first QSO, it's receiving your first call sign. Why? That call sign is basically your new first name. whenever you're on the air, you don't listen for your name, you listen for your call sign. And that's why it is vastly important to hams. What can you do with the call sign? Well, the other thing is identification. It's the only one like it in the whole world. It's issued to you, and it's unique only to you. So the neat thing is it works very well, okay? Now, the structure for US call signs applies to all the states and territories. Guam, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico are listed as territories. In 1927, the ITU issued to the United States 4 letters that all call signs will begin with. Up until that point, anybody and everybody had made up their own call signs, and there was a mass confusion of who was trying to talk to who, where it was coming from, and all that other stuff. So the ITU issued up prefixes for all countries, and the US was issued those 4 letters, WANK. And one of the guys that was writing books for license testing and whatnot came up with the word wank. And the original call signs were extra class, beginning with a W, extra class 1x2s, and generals 1x3s. In 1951, they introduced novice call signs beginning with the K, and the second character was the letter N. So the novice call signs issued beginning in 1951 for whatever particular call area was actually the first 2x3 call signs issued. Once the novice upgraded, went to either any one of the 3, tech, general, or conditional, they dropped the N and became a 1x3. And advanced class, 2x2, beginning with the letter K. And also in the early 50s, the W series, 1x3s, were getting exhausted, so they started with the K series. The original novice license 2x3 was rated required minimum 75 watts input. Now, some of you probably remember that, but the 75 watts input was DC, current times the plate voltage on the tube, and had to be crystal controlled. And it was good for 1 year non-renewable, and you had to either upgrade or lose it. Second character was an N, indicating a novice. And the originals here in our call area was, of course, KN0. The technician, conditional, and general class were 1x3s, now considered a Class C license, beginning with a W or a K. And previously mentioned, the novice upgrade dropped the N. And the technicians on up, if taken at an FCC office, was rated minimum 5 word per minute CW bands. The VHF novice CW subbands were also introduced in this time. And the HF bands that the novices had access to was the 80, 40, and I believe it was the 15. The 15 meter band was not active at that time. The 15 meter band came into effect sometime later. You could get it for a general class, you could get the conditional. It was titled different and examined differently. If you lived over 250 miles away from a FCC examination point, you could get the conditional class if it was conducted by another general class license, ham or above. But the general itself was taken at FCC office, and both the conditional and general had to pass the 13 word a minute code test. The amateur extras, the Class A license, beginning with a W or K, and the newer ones, beginning with the letter A, were 2x2s. The extra class, of course, 1x2s, 2x1s, and now 2x2s. The bottom end of the 25 of the CW and phone bands, 25 kilohertz, was for the extra class only. Why? That's where the ITU region 2 of the Americas overlapped the other ITU regions, so it was a DX window. A lot of people didn't know that. The advanced class, which was also created in the early 50s, was a 2x2 call beginning with a K. And an advanced class or an amateur extra could have a 2x2 for that class of license. The newer novice class, Class D, were 2x3 calls, beginning with WA, BC, D, and WV, Victor. And they replaced the KN prefix. And now those particular call signs can be held by anyone. Now, vanity calls, these are rather interesting. These 2x2, which are Class B, as in Bravo, call signs, beginning with a W. I started seeing that APRS on Wyoming, and I saw a couple, one or two on the check-ins tonight. And the one from Wyoming that I remember seeing, WB7GR. He owns a lot of repeaters, both voice and APRS. And then, of course, my own. I had a 1x3 call sign W0MBH, and I wanted a call sign that would reflect my class of license. So I came up with mine that I have now is WB0MH. And humorously, that's we buy 0 microhenries. I saw this call sign, NM5SS, on my APRS. What is that? Well, looking at it, it's a 2x2 format, okay, beginning with the letter N. Well, that fits, but what is it? I had to go to the FCC database. Come to find out, there's a club call from New Mexico Space Studies, and New Mexico is a 5-call area. Further investigation is a high altitude atmosphere study with high altitude balloon launches. So I went back to my APRS computer screen, expanded the screen out, and sure enough, there was a balloon. And the balloon had been launched from Albuquerque, drifting towards Santa Fe. And when I first saw it, it was about a height of about 65,000 feet and going up. And when I kept watching it, and I figured that those altitudes where it's really cold, the power was maybe a 9-volt battery or maybe 2 for the GPS satellite module, and maybe a 100 milliwatt transmitter, so that it could really have a huge footprint with minimal amount of power. The balloon reached 110,000 feet before the next beacon after that, and it's 78,000 feet coming down. So it reached pretty good, and I see a few of those from time to time. The new technician general license, 1x3s beginning with N until exhausted, and the 2x3s beginning with K. Now, these call signs can be held by anyone because anyone can hold those particular classes. You don't need to change your call sign as you did at one time. You had to change your call sign when you upgraded. So 60s and 70s changes, incentive licensing implemented, Novices can use VFO and power output increase to 200 watts. Call signs when moving to different areas and or upgrading, you can keep it. Conditional class and experience requirement for amateur extra was abolished, and mobile and portable IDs no longer required. 1990s and beyond. Vanity call signs were made available in 1995. And if a licensed call sign was expired, you have to wait 2 years and 1 day before applying for that call sign. Where does that come into effect? 1x2s and 2x1s. There is a huge competition for those type of call signs because everybody wants them. And the other side of the coin that goes along with the 2x2s beginning with the A. Vanity call signs, you can make your own within current restrictions. Call signs with Q signals are not allowed. 2x2s beginning with W, K, or N, as long as it is within your license class. No code tech. License classes were reduced to tech, general, and extra, and CW, of course, was abolished in 2000. Summary. Class A call signs beginning with a WKN, 1x2s or 2x1s, and 2x2s beginning with the letter A. Class B call signs, 2x2s beginning with a W, K, or an N. Class C call signs can be held by anyone, so 1x3, beginning with a W, K, or an N. Class D call signs, 2x3s, beginning with a W, K. WX prefix were highly restricted to NOAA weather stations, and the most famous, of course, is WX4NHC. And the W prefix for 2x3s are no longer issued. Additional restrictions. Second character of a call sign cannot be the letter P for Papa for call areas 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 for 2x2 or 2x3 formats. Complete list for restrictions are available at the ARRL.org/vanity/dash call sign. So you can look up the different restrictions. That basically is just about it. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free. I will try to answer them. Of course, the answer will be an almost definite maybe, and that's final.
One
Go ahead,
slide
Chuck.
back, why the Papa as a second letter is a problem. My twisted mind is trying to think about this.
Puerto Rico.
Ah, yes, of course.
It's not just Puerto Rico. There's some other KPs, some other Pacific islands that I think there's a KP2 and a KP1, I think.
Yeah, KP2 is the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
So there is a reason for the P. Go ahead, Steve.
As the resident Englishman around here, I better bring this to everybody's attention. Stop any embarrassment. Before using presentations with W, A, and K in them, look it up in Google first.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Chuck, can you say it for him, please?
So, yeah, what I'm saying is, before you give any presentations using W, A, and K as a word or something like that, look it up in Google, because it's not, I think, a clean, simple word.
Oh, the abbreviation for using the wank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has different meanings in different countries.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
quite
wank,
memorable.
yeah, but it's, in this case, it's the first letters of authorization to the FCC for issuing call signs, WANK, and it was KB6NOA that came up with that to make it easy to remember. It's like most folks that come up with humorous definitions or phonetics for their call sign, QC phonetics, to make it catchy. By the way, I have seen some really interesting call signs on FT8, W0 RLD World, N0 SEX, W0 MAN. There's a whole bunch of them that are really humorous that come up that a lot of people get tickled with. But I've seen some really interesting call signs for phonetics. There was a guy in Syracuse that got a call sign he rejected. N2 PMS. He rejected that one.
We can understand why.
Anybody else have?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I can too.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
I bought an ARRL Thompson map and I put it in the ham shack here. It looks like it's got zones on it with different regions and different call signs.
All right. The zone calls, that's CQ call zones, as opposed to the call area established by the FCC. So the FCC has a call area map that you can download, and it's very clear as to what call areas numerically are where they are. But the CQ zones are different. Why they did that, I don't know.
But you're right, it wasn't on your list, but the FCC gave up on the call zones. You know, you can ask for any call you want. I have a friend in Washington State that got a 2 call because he liked it. And that's perfectly legal now. So that map is sort of a historical artifact.
The Thompson map?
Roger that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 7 and I'm here in Colorado. I came from Arizona where that was the 7 zone, but I could keep my call when I came here. It's no longer enforced that you have a 0 call if you're in Colorado or anything else.
Now, that change was made in 1976. Requirement removed to change call sign when moving to different call areas. That happened in 1976. And that also coincides with when you upgrade, you didn't have to change your call sign as you did previous.
What I'm saying is you can ask for a vanity call with any number you want, regardless of where you live.
That's right. It's no longer required to have one in the call area where you are. By the way, here in Loveland, there is a guy that has a Whiskey Delta prefix on his call sign, WD0. And I have seen W Victor, Whiskey Victor prefix on FT8 also, an 8 call, WV8DX, I think it is. I've seen that on FT8.
You see a lot of guys.
If anybody wants a summarized version, printed out version of what I've covered this evening, if you go on qrz.com and look up my call sign, it has my email on there, and I will email you the summarized version of what I just covered this evening. So qrz.com will have my email on there, and I will send a copy of it to you.
What's your call sign again?
My call sign, WB0MH, Whiskey Bravo 0 Mike Hotel.
Let me ask you another question. Now, my dad became a ham radio operator back in before I did. He built a ham shack, put some gear in it at the end of our carport, which got me interested in ham radio. Anyway, I don't know what year he got his ham license. 6 months or 9 months ago, I looked up on the internet and I found a web page that has photos of call books that are searchable. And it's probably in amongst my 100 or so ham radio bookmarked web pages. Do you, off the top of your head, know where that web page might be?
All right, now there is some of you remember the Buckmaster call sign book. Those folks have a web page. It's called hamcall.net, hamcall.net, and they do have lookups from many years back from several of their issued books that they've published, and you can look up an old call sign there as well. But hamcall.net, and you don't have to have a subscription for it at first. They allow you a few lookups, so that's not a problem. So if you're looking up for an real old call sign, that would probably be your best bet.
Thank you.
Certainly. Anybody have any other questions?
Anybody got any other questions?
Something out of it.
Yeah, and also there was a comment. Of course, the call areas are also listed on the back of the band plans from the ARRL, so you can look at that as well for the different areas. Even though it doesn't matter anymore, you can have whatever call sign you want as far as number goes. But it's always kind of good to know the areas. A lot of people do stay in those areas with their call signs.
I've seen some call signs for de-expeditions or exotic locations, and they have more than 6 or 7 or 8 letters. I mean, WW0 WWV is 2 by 3. I understand why they do that, but there are some people who have a special event call sign that are words, whole words. Are you familiar with those?
You also see the opposite on CW, that people are looking for the minimum number of dits and das and the least confusion, the most easy to understand when you hear it, that, like we had one of our speakers a few months ago was a big DXer, and his call is AA7A, trying to make it as short and as sweet and as fast to send as possible and as easy to understand as possible.
Let me toss this out also for a lot of folks that might be interested in a vanity call sign. If you go to fcc.gov/ULS, Universal Licensing System, when that page comes up, near the bottom, there's a link there to look up call signs. Say again?
Oh, no, Steve was talking in the background to somebody, so I muted him.
Okay. When you find the call sign lookup, when that page comes up, there's a dialog box for a call sign, name, or FRN. So you can put a call sign in there that you might be interested in. And if there's not a use for it, if somebody has not had it, it will come up almost immediately and say not found. If somebody has had it or has it or expired, it will pause for a bit while it's working to try and call all possible owners of those call signs. Then it will come up and give you the call sign. Then you can click on it and see if it's expired or what have you. But it's fcc.gov, meaning government, /ULS, Universal Licensing System. And that's where you can make changes and all kinds of stuff. And as far as I know right now, Brian, I think you've probably aware of this, that the FCC has not implemented that $35 fee that they've been talking about. They have not implemented that as of yet.
No, they haven't. Hey, Mike, I got a question. What do you know about, or when did 1x1 special call signs come around?
Oh, gosh. That one I don't know. I know that the league, in conjunction with the FCC ULS, can issue 1x1, and you have to go to the VEC to apply for it. The VEC will issue that, as well as issuing club call signs.
Yeah, because I get a 1x1 for our Sent on the Air every year. So I was just curious if that was put together for a special reason, or I know it's all mostly for special events, but if they started at a particular time, or that's been around since the beginning of call signs, or exactly.
No, it's a new, I didn't have that information available to me, but it's a fairly new, I'd say within the last 15, 20 years.
Okay.
I think it goes along with the 2x1s and the 1x2s.
Great, thank you. All right, anybody got any other questions for Mike? Comments? Chuck, go ahead, just unmute yourself.
It wasn't really for him. I thought you were just opening up general things. I was just
okay.
gonna say, this may have been in the splatter already. I can't remember, but just a reminder to people that build their own antennas and stuff. Ray Llewellyn has retired as of January 1st, and he's made EasyNet free now. So you can go to the EasyNet website. It used to be a couple $100 program, I believe, and he's made it free.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions, comments?
So there's one website that I've used to find a vanity call to make sure that it's available, because that, the FCC has like strict rules on when you submit your application, when they look at your application and all this other stuff. So there's a website, AE7Q, Alpha Echo 7 Quebec. And you can go on there and you can figure out what call signs are available, and like on what given day you can begin applying for them if they're becoming available, so that you have the best shot of getting that call sign. And it'll also tell you, based on when you applied, if you're going to be in the lottery for that call sign on the day that the FCC is going to pick the winner of that call sign or not. So I used it recently to get a 2x1, which is supposed to be processed in a week from now. And I think I'm the only one in line for that call sign, so I should get it. The other thing I wanted to point out is regions 11 and 13, which is Alaska and then the Pacific Islands. I think those are restricted. They're geographically restricted, so you can't get 11 or 13 call sign, which is unfortunate because there are so many 2x1s available and 1x2s available for Alaska. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Ramon. Any comments on that, Mike? Is that?
No, AE7Q is one of several that I know of. I hadn't heard of that one, but I have a couple that I've used as well. But when I looking for a call sign to use for somebody to look it up, and I always go to the FCC database because that's the most current, most accurate. But there are others that will look for you for weighted CW use, like was previously mentioned, what would be a really good one for CW or teletype or what have you, or voice or any of the modes. there are several available out there, but AE7Q is one. I don't have access to that other one. It's not on this computer, so sorry. I don't know what it is, but there are several.
All right, well, thank you. Anybody got any other questions for Mike? Mike, very informative. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it.
I'd like to make another volunteer if anybody's interested. I do have a PowerPoint presentation available on APRS. So if you guys are interested, maybe let Chuck know and he can let me know and we can make another arrangements for another presentation here on APRS.
Okay,
I
thank
vote
you.
yes. I vote yes on that one.
Doug's like, yeah, sure. So I'll get with you, Mike, and we'll figure out which month works the best.
Okay.
Well, I'm a guy who's had 3 call signs, W7, CWZ. When I first became a ham radio operator, I had a course to end in there when I was a novice for a year there, but WB5 YMH and KE0SI, I got that, I think, when I moved to Minnesota.
So actually, I got a question.
So thank you, Mike.
I got a question for people. Is there anybody here who's had their call sign for longer than 10 years? Bob, you've had yours? Well, I should, let me rephrase that. Your original call sign that you got, you've kept it. It's been longer than 10 years. Chuck, I see Chuck's one. AE0, Jerry, you had your call sign the whole time since you became a ham? So 2 people out of 32. Because I know I don't have my original call sign. Mine was KE0OJN. I'm like 0 and J or 0 and O is not going to fly.
Yeah, I misunderstood your question. Yeah, my original one was KA0KDN, so I did not keep.
Okay.
I just got my new one here recently.
So Jerry's the only one that's had the same call sign his entire career as a ham radio operator. Good job, Jerry.
I let my first novice call expire. Go ahead, try to say November 0 UGJ. It just hurts. Actually, no, November 2 UGJ, I guess it was. Yeah.
We used to have
WN2 UGJ. Gosh, it's been a long time. Sorry.
we used to have a club member with the call sign N0W Alpha Echo. No way.
The CW call sign I want is W0EAR. Dit.
There you go.
Yeah, but I never changed mine.
I'm a big Nebraska Cornhusker football fan, and I'd like to have K0RN.
Yeah.
Well, we had one club member who, and Bryan and Kat can attest to this. He sat there and looked at the databases, watched it until he got his call sign. He was determined, hell or high water, to get a call sign with the first 3 letters of his name. And he did. He got it. He's a club member. He's on a presentation for us as well. It was W0CAM, right? Or was it K0CAM? Yeah, W0CAM. Cameron. So he did a presentation for us a couple years ago on stealth antennas, which was really nice. So yeah, call signs are interesting. You know, a lot of people do try to, use either try to get their initials, or for myself, I managed to get ITP, which is my 2 boys, Isaac and Tate. P's my last name for POC. So it's just one day I should just do an entire presentation on why you got your call sign and what does it mean to you? Because it's not, as a ham, it feels like, we go out and look for those special call signs because it's got that special meaning to us. And I think that's another cool thing of the hobby is, we have that opportunity. There are enough call signs out there where people can potentially go out and do something like that. If I wasn't going to get K0ITP, my second choice was W0ASS. So, but I think that one actually got taken. Somebody actually took that one. So it just doesn't quite fit didn't quite fit me, but it would have been funny to have.
We had a
Well,
we had a priest.
Up here in Loveland, Duff Dyer wanted to change his 9 call to 0 now that he moved out here. So he got Whiskey 0 XYZ, W0 XYZ.
Yeah, Duff got that.
Doug, you
Mine's
were gonna
my
say something?
original
Duff.
one, but I've only been a ham about 3 years, and I think I'm just going to keep it. I was originally going to change it, but I just say PTI stands for pardon the interruption. So.
And we had a presenter one time who did summits on the air, and he always had a goat, and he loaded up his equipment on the goat. His call sign was KG0AT.
Yeah.
So you take his last 4 letters, and look, it was the word goat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
well, you're another interesting one would probably be KA0SS or chaos.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one to have. I think I'm going to keep mine though, at least for a while. I'm starting to get used to it.
I think somebody got us all fired up on call signs.
Yeah, well, I thought it'd be an interesting, side thing to bring up. Does anybody have, I got here. Most people I see, there's a lot of KFs, which of course are, the newer ones. I guess the question I have out there, I mentioned I've got something special for mine. Does anybody have anything that, they fought hard to get their call sign because of a special reason? And if you did, how long did you wait to get it?
I think right now, if you submit for a change of a call sign for whatever, vanity or otherwise, it's 18 calendar days, not business. It's 18 calendar days from the time you submit before you are issued it.
I got my vanity call about 20 years ago, and it was no fuss, no muss. It was, I don't know how many days, but it was a few weeks, not months or years.
Well, Mike, I think a lot of that delay now is due to the reduction in staffing in most federal agencies. As a federal contractor, I know that even my agency is affected, but most federal agencies have cut back. They're either working from home or they've cut back their staffing, so they're not even in the physical offices to process the request in a timely manner, I would imagine.
I don't know how many humans have to touch this stuff if it's all just computer spit it out.
Well, somebody's got to go in and approve it or deny it, so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's all set up now. There's so much automation now. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
So really, while we got still a lot of people on, how many new hams within the last couple of weeks, or actually, say, since November, are on the meeting this evening? Do we have any new hams? Any new club members that are on the meeting this evening? Bob?
Yeah,
Yep.
this is Jim Otis. I'm a KJ0FTJ, and I just moved here from Renton, Kent, Washington.
Oh, well, welcome.
About a month ago.
Welcome, Jim.
And I'm
welcome, Bob.
Mostly interested in CW and in RTTY. So.
Well, we got a few folks to do CW. I'm not one of them. I don't do RTTY either. But we have a few folks, and check online, and you can send an email to Elmer at w0eno.org, and you think of our own email address, and somebody will probably reply back to you. We'll try to get somebody to help you with CW if you like.
Okay, I will take you up on that.
All right. Well, we got a couple of choices. Let's see here. A couple people jump. If we'd like, we can go over the AE7Q site about call signs and vanities if you want to last a little longer, or we can call it a night. I'll leave it up to the group. I've had an offer for somebody to do that.
Hey, I'm in no rush, but that's just me.
We want to hang out for a little bit longer. What do you think, Brian? 15 minutes?
Yeah, probably shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, well, let me make you a co-host, and if you want to do that, go for it. Brian's going to go over the AE7Q site really quick, in case you are interested in a vanity call signs.
I'm going to go ahead and drop out, and thank you guys very much for having me. I appreciate it very, very much. So I'm going to say 7-3. Have a good one. And
Mike, it was a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Let's get together again for lunch someday.
Thanks, Mike.
Roger that.
Okay, so
See you,
this is
Mike.
that. Oh, so this is that site that I think Ramon and a couple other people mentioned. It's ae7q.com, and it was the one that I used to research and get my vanity call sign or figure out what to get for it. It's got a lot of useful features on it. Is my screen big enough that people can read it?
No problem, Brian. I can see it just fine on my small laptop screen. So
Okay, excellent. I'll try not to scroll around too much and make anybody seasick. So kind of this first table they show here, they have the different call regions, and I don't know why they number them 10 through 13, but 10 is 0, which is the one we're in. And it kind of gives a summary here of 1x2 and 2x1 call signs. And interestingly enough, it says there are 9 that are currently available. So if we click on the button here, this will take us to the page for call area 10. And then right now it's kind of giving a summary, like you mentioned, the different types of call signs that you can are legal to get for 2x1 and 1. This is mainly focused on 1x2 and 2x1 call signs. And if we scroll down a little bit more, this will go through all of the call signs that either are expired or are coming up shortly for expiration. And as was mentioned, they try to assign, they call it a phonetic weight, which I guess is, when you're saying the phonetics for the call sign, and then a Morse weight. I don't know if that's just the total number of dits and dots or how they go about computing that. But essentially, if you're a Morse code person, you might want to look for one with a lower number and so on. I don't know Morse code either. Let me scroll. I'm just going to scroll down here to these green ones. So I believe this green is saying all of these are available. Yeah, right now they were available in 2019. So if you want NO0W or I don't know what that is, NQ0X, there's probably a reason they're available. Looks like they're not too friendly for CW, but aren't too bad for phonetics maybe. And you'll notice these are all links, so you can click on them. And that'll take you to a detailed page for that. It'll show who's had those call signs before. They obviously don't go back till forever anyway, but they do go back a ways. This goes back to 86 when this one was granted. So you can kind of see who's historically had the call sign before, if that's important or not. And this shows that there's no pending applications for it, so it's available. And this website has just a ton of information on the whole process for applying for a vanity, how that works, what happens, and so on. Let me see if I go back to this page. I don't remember if it has anything below it. No.
If you want to click into KV0N, you can see my application and.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, you can go ahead and click on that, and it says it's available. And then if you keep on scrolling back down, it'll say who.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, who applied with
Excellent.
that and who's gonna kind of get it. So if you click my ULS file number, it'll tell you, at least in my application, like you can see other people's applications and what call signs they selected and which call sign they're gonna get. And
right.
So basically the way I did it, I only selected one call sign and I made sure I did it, in such a way that I would get it.
Yeah, and you can, I think on the application, what can you do, up to 20?
Yeah, I think you can do maybe even 26. If you click another one of these guys, yeah, like maybe that one, and scroll down, you can see his application And you can see that
Yeah, there.
he selected all of these, and I don't know which one he actually is going to get, but he put KV0N as number 9, and I think he he got one of his higher ones.
Yeah, and I believe these aren't in any particular order. They just go through when they come up and they do a drawing. My understanding is everyone who applies for it on a certain date goes into a drawing and they randomly select somebody. So it doesn't matter if you're the first one to apply on that date or the last one. But if somebody like, let's see, does it say when you actually submitted it? So Ramon submitted his on January 6th and nobody else is currently in the running for it. If I submitted mine on the 7th, I wouldn't be in the running because he's already there. It's already got somebody on a day. But if I had submitted it at any time during the 6th, then both of us would be in that drawing thing.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to still qualify for the call sign. If you're a technician, you can't apply for an extra call sign and so on.
Right. Yeah, the rule is, I think you have to be at that class on the day that you apply for it. So, I can't be a technician and then apply for a vanity call that I'm not allowed to get just because I'm gonna pass my test by the time they select the call sign.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we drilled down to this. It does show eventually it would show why his were dismissed. One reason it can be dismissed is if you apply too early. Like if we go back to this previous page, sorry, I'm gonna have to scroll up to get the titles here. So this shows the end date of that call sign and then when it becomes available. So you'll notice this is 2 years later, 2 years plus 1 day, this call sign becomes available. So if I was to apply for K0DS today, I would get denied and it would be dismissed because it's not yet open. So you have to pay attention to that when you're applying. You can't just pick any of these and hope to get them. Right now, just those green ones you would get. And since they've been around for so long and nobody else has applied for them, you'd probably have a pretty good chance of getting them as well.
What does it mean when end date? I mean, is that
like when the call sign expired? So like if I don't know when my call sign expires, but if I don't renew it, then 2 years plus 1 day after that, somebody else can request it.
But if they get a deceased person, what happens? I mean,
yeah, the deceased one's a little weird. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Cameron had to go through that, the guy that Chuck mentioned, because he wanted a call sign with his initials, CAM. And that call sign was available. The guy had passed away, but it still has this 2-year period after it expires. And then it also had whatever his normal period, if he has 5 years left on his call sign and dies, it's going to stick around for those 5 years plus 2 years plus a day before it becomes available. So if you know somebody has passed away as a silent key, if you can get proof of that, like I think they require an obituary or death certificate or something, and send that into the FCC, they will make that call sign available without that waiting period. Now, the thing is, they don't just give it to you, even if you're the one that turns in the paperwork. They just make it available for selection. And then if, multiple people are watching, there would still be that random drawing. So we were giving Cameron a hard time that, we were all going to go out and apply for that as soon as he got it in, just to mess with him. But he was pretty adamant on it and he ended up getting it. So we were all happy for him. And I think there are some provisions too, if it's, and I'm not sure what it is, if it's a direct family member, I believe, you can also, there's some special provisions that you can get precedence or preference when they're assigning these call signs out. So if like your father passes away and you want to get his call sign, they will let you step to the head of the line and do that. But otherwise, you just have to wait for these dates. I was trying to look at stuff when the presentation was going on. There was a page that showed all the applications. Oh, it might have been this one, I think. So this is showing pending vanity applications, and they kind of give a prediction of whether it's certain to get it, like Ramon, because nobody else applied, or if it's unknown that maybe 3 or 4 people have applied and it's up in the air. But I noticed looking on this page, you can see the submissions people made. Let me see, I think it was this one. Yeah. So this gentleman right here, whoops, the bottom guy that I have highlighted right there, He's not too up on his call signs because if you notice, he's doing I don't know what this would be, a 2, well, it wouldn't be a 2x3 because it's got 2 numbers in it, and you can't have US call signs that way. This guy also 406T. So I don't know if these are CB guys or they just don't understand how this works. Every now and then you'll just see some weird stuff like a word, someone will want, Bob or Joseph or something that, doesn't conform to the call sign rules that we heard about earlier. So if you do that, even though they're pending a review, but they're going to get refused because they're not valid call signs.
Yeah, because even underneath it, you got like 4057.
Yeah, those are all bogus. This one WD9CQ, that one is a valid call sign, or this one's a 1x3.
So in this website, Brian, you can manually put in a call sign that you like, or I thought you could only look at ones that are available.
You can put in ones. This web page itself does not apply for the call sign for you.
Okay.
It just lets you kind of research them like this. Then once you figure out what ones you want, then you go to the ULS and do an application.
Gotcha.
And let's see this. The other thing it has interesting here is, let's see, does it have the numbers here? This is showing which sequential call signs are getting assigned for all the different call areas. So like I mentioned, for the new technicians, they're somewhere in the KF0H range is where they're assigning the sequential call signs right now. Somewhere here, yeah, this one I've used before for some presentations when we're teaching the classes. This shows you the amateur licenses by group. So it's got the different call sign groups, the different formats here. And like a 1x3, that's 1 letter and then a number and then 3 more letters. So like AF0W would be a 2x1. And you can see how many are assigned to the different license classes here. And it looks like there are a couple of advanced still out there as well. So, obviously, as we mentioned in the presentation, you don't have to change your call sign if you upgrade your license class. So if you like your lower level call sign, you can keep that and it's totally fine. There was somebody from one of the other classes. I don't remember which one it was, but there was just one gentleman on it, but I think he must have passed away because that row is no longer there. So this site has just a ton of information if you're looking in different things here. You can see by the call area, what percentage are extra or advanced or general. Oh, Tech Plus was the other guy. So there's nobody that's Tech Plus anymore. So if you're into call signs, you can get a whole bunch of information out of this. If you're looking to apply for a vanity call sign, this is a great resource to go to. They update themselves pretty frequently from the FCC database, but obviously, as was mentioned in the presentation, the FCC database is the Bible or the one source of truth or whatever. So you definitely want to check that before you apply. And it's a lot easier to do call signs right now. When I applied for mine, I forget what it was. I think it was maybe $20 or so for each application. And you don't get that $20 back automatically if you're not assigned a call sign. You can petition the FCC and they'll refund it to you. And I had heard that was the reason they got rid of the charge for vanity call signs, because it was costing them too much to have to manage that and send the money back. So they figured we'll just do it for free. But whenever they come up with this new fee structure, it is going to be $35 to apply for and get a vanity call sign. I haven't read anything about whether you would still be able to get that $35 back if you lost out on the lottery and didn't get the vanity you applied for. So I'm not sure if that'll come back to you or not.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's all I had on that.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Anybody got any questions for Brian?
I think I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Doug.
Okay, so I can't see my. But anyway, the point is they have advanced here. This, why would they give somebody an advanced vanity when it's so old and they don't have an advanced class license anymore?
Yeah, these aren't, I don't believe these counts are vanity. These are just all call signs. So way over here, there's, what is this, 842,000 total amateur call signs, callers. As long as you don't, if you don't retest, you just stay at that level. And continue on. I don't think this will let us drill down and actually see the individual call signs in those classes. Now it doesn't. But yeah, I believe those are just people who've never upgraded. They were in advanced at one point and they just kept that license and.
It's me.
So yeah, and there's still, there's still a number of novice ones around here too as well. And that hasn't been around for a long time also. But quite a few technicians, 17,000, 20,000. Looking at the bottom here, it has the totals. It looks like 51% of all the licenses are technicians right now. So got a lot of new people coming in and
quite a bit of generals and amateur extras there too.
Yeah, it looks like there's more generals and then slightly fewer extras. Yeah, and what we always tell the people in the class, especially when we're doing the technician classes, that, going from technician to general, there's a huge jump there in the privileges that you gain. You get all your HF privileges on some portion of all of the bands, and you get that ability. Jumping up to extra just gives you a little bit more frequency space on all of those, but it's not as big of a jump as going from tech to general. So we always kind of try to encourage them, you've already studied all the stuff from tech. There's quite a bit of overlap between the information on tech and general. If you think you might ever want to do that, it'd be good to just continue on and get it out of the way before you forget everything. As you know, there's all kinds of stuff we have to study for the tests that you don't necessarily use in your day-to-day amateur radio life.
Very true, very true. All right, anybody got any questions, comments? All right, thank you, Brian.
Sure.
All right. So Doug, do you have a lot of people signing up to help you on the 29th yet?
Oh, I didn't ask for signups. We got.
Or anybody get a hold of you and say they're going to help you?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, we've got one operator who's on the net tonight who asked for a time slot, and
okay.
I'll give that to him.
Cool. And if for some reason if you do need the solar panel, and I know you won't, but it's back in the storage facility. So.
Oh, okay. No, I'll probably use that on our radio in the park day, or.
Oh yeah.
Probably have a couple of radio in the park days this year.
That works. And then whenever you're done with the Go Box, let me know and I can take it off your hands again.
Yeah. Friday, Thursday, Saturday evening, the 29th, it's yours.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, I might come later in the afternoon and pick it up and stay there for the ending.
Okay.
Instead of the morning. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, thank you everybody for attending. I appreciate it. If anybody's got any questions, comments, please let us know. You waving by, Pat, or you got a question? Pat's ready for a glass of wine and enjoy the warm weather.
Yeah, you're all invited to come visit when you get tired of the snow.
We're getting more snow on Friday. At least they say they are. We didn't get any snow out of this one. It was all just freezing drizzle, which made it even crappier.
Yeah, sheet of ice everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we got snow.
Well, you're far enough north, you got snow.
This is true, but we got snow.
You guys get a lot of snow up there in Loveland?
A few inches. Like
really?
2, yeah. Enough to do shoveling. We have to shovel.
You come out here to shovel, you're shoveling ice out here in Longmont.
Yeah, it's snowing here.
Oh, interesting.
Chuck, this is Will. I had
hey, Will.
A logistics question.
Sure.
Do the club memberships renew on a calendar year basis or a year from when you first
a year from when you joined?
Okay.
Yeah, we're not a
All
club that like have everybody sign up in December and then you renew or sign up in January and renew the next January. We do it a year from when you sign.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You're welcome. And Steve's been doing a good job of keeping that up. So he's been a great membership chair, K0STE. So if you ever have membership questions, you can send him an email directly as well.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a note in the splatter about you can renew or submit your dues through PayPal, and then that got me thinking, do I owe dues now or do I owe dues?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good.
Steve, you want to talk about how you do that really quick?
It's just a database, and I just keep an eye out for emails and update people as they come in. Any questions, I give them a call.
All right. So yeah, he's good about sending emails prior to your expiration and things like that. So we make sure you get notified.
By the way, I looked up WANK on my Google.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
No, that's why he brought it up.
It definitely was not pretty.
Why did you get things that started to, yeah, it's not pretty. If you ever watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV, you'll understand what the word means. But that's a pretty interesting show if you ever get a chance to see it. It's about a American football coach that goes to England and coaches soccer. So, and they call him a wanker. So, but the show is definitely adult orientated. It's hilarious. All right. Anybody got anything else? Any questions? Ramon, good luck on getting your new call sign. Now we're going to learn another one because you just changed to AE0RS recently too, right? Last year or year and a half?
Yeah, I did, but I wanted a shorter one because I'm getting lazier. Hopefully this will be the last one.
Okay, now we're going to have to remember another one.
Yeah. But I have a cool picture to go with it because KV is like kilovolts and like, like a switch that you turn on, so like, I think I'm
like Frankenstein. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. It's like kilovolts on or something. So you can easily remember it. Cause I think, somebody keeps calling me AE0 Radio Shack, non-ITU phonetics.
But that's a contest we should do with the club. I think maybe I'll think of something like that. We have some kind of call sign contest where you come up with a unique, what does your call sign mean? Come up with some kind of funny thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I sat there when I had lunch with Mike on Monday to help him with this presentation, and if you guys ever get a chance to sit one-on-one with Mike, he's a trip. He's a member of the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. He does Skywarn. He used to be the director for Skywarn with Aries, but not anymore. He had stepped down. But he is fascinating. Ex-Army. He's been doing communications pretty much his entire life. He was telling stories that are just outrageous. But he likes to tell. He is very clean. He's a very politically correct, clean joke teller, which you don't get a lot of these days. Like. He actually went up to a couple of folks in the restaurant and says, that you can promote a kid, and they're like, what? Because yeah, from major pain to general disaster, and things like that. He's just hilarious. So you'll get a chance to talk to him at a picnic or a get together, which we're going to probably try to do this year. I am inviting NCART to our Radio in the Park again this year. We're keeping that communication flowing, that strategic partnership with NCART going. To try to help each other out where we can. So there's a lot of, hopefully we'll get a chance to meet more of their club members, and they'll get a chance to meet more of our club members as well. And, talk to them and make some new acquaintances, friends, comrades, ham radio chat buddies, whatever you want to call it. Because that's what we're all about. We're a social club along with also technical. And I see that that's always a great fit to have something like that going. So we're going to keep it up again this year.
I know mine says something.
What's
Adolf.
that? Adolf. Does that mean we need to do this or no?
Yeah. And they gave that to me voluntarily.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, call signs are not necessarily politically correct.
No, they're not.
I mean, I think it's actually somebody Greeley, maybe it's got BBQ, like W0 BBQ or something like that. Like I said, the WOAS, the W0 ASS was the one I was going to apply for. It's just, I think maybe, like I said, I'll have maybe some contest for a splatter or something is, what can little verbiage can you put for your call sign,
Or you can see how we can roast somebody else's call sign.
Now, there's an idea too. We could have a call sign roast. I like that. That could be fun. Roast the call sign. Maybe we'll get some volunteers if they want their call sign roasted.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what I did on Monday because mine was, what did I say it was? Killer in the park or something like that, or it came with something goofy. Cool. Was it something? Because I added the 0. It was like cool individual talking presentation or something. It come with something goofy, but yeah.
I would think toilet paper, but that's just me.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, but my youngest is Tate, my oldest is Isaac, my wife's name is Carrie, and my last name is Pock. So it just kind of really worked out.
Yeah.
Now my stepdaughters were not. They were a little jealous at first that they weren't involved, but I said I can't. I could do another 2 letters, but I don't want a 3x3.
Maybe you can get a GMRS license. There's a lot of numbers in those.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'll stay away from that.
I have one of those and I didn't like it.
How long is yours?
Oh, it's 6 digits.
Yeah.
Was it something bad
luckily
too?
You don't have to say your GMRS call on the air or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite a few.
Well, hopefully they don't kill our call signs because sometimes they're a lot of fun. Yes, some of them can be a little bit incorrect, but you know what? It's all what you make of it. It's how you look at it. If you don't think it's bad, it's not bad. If you think it's bad, then it's bad. Just ignore it.
Yep.
That's my new philosophy.
Turn the dial.
That's right. If you don't like Howard Stern, go listen to Rush Limbaugh, whatever.
Can't listen to him anymore. He passed away, so.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm sure they're still playing some of his old stuff.
Yeah. And of course, it's Glenn Beck to replace him.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody's got anything else, thank you again for coming. We had a great turnout. Read the splatter. I know I still need to. I didn't get a chance today. So I'm sure all kinds of good information. Kat, and Bryan, everybody who, Ed, everybody who puts an article in there does a really good job every month. And again, if you like to put something in the splatter, do not hesitate to do so. Kat will be more than happy to take it, add it, and fit it in. Because I didn't even see how many pages is this month, Kat or Bryan?
34.
34?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 34 or 32. I really like to print out the splatter in booklet mode. And then I make a little booklet out of it. You probably can't see it, but
Do you read it to your wife at night, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to make her want to get her license. But I print it out in booklet mode, and then you just you just put a staple in it.
There you go.
You can read it like a little booklet. But my wife really likes the puzzles in the back.
Oh, that's cool. So when is she going to get her license? Got to get her technician.
She's starting to read my technician book, and I told her, look, I'm so cheap. You better take the exam before July 22nd when they change the questions.
Well, the other thing is I am going to have a fox hunt probably in February. So you need to bring her out.
Nice. Yeah.
Your antenna and get her involved and, things like that. So.
Yeah, we'll make a video this time. I made a really cheesy video for the NCARC Hamfest, and it already got like 70 views on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I created a post. If you want to put it on the website, you can. But
you can put it on a website too. You're a member.
Well, whenever I add stuff to it, I always put it in like moderation. So I'll let, one of you guys decide.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
goes up and all that other stuff, because I don't want to take the front page if you're gonna put something important on there for a few days.
Oh, we just kick you down, that's all.
But yeah,
We would just kick it down. So do you already put it up there then?
I did. It's in like moderation or something like that.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. We'll get it posted
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
I'll go take a look at it. In fact,
Yeah, I
I've got
figure I don't know if people are typing NCARC or Hamfest
oh, there we go.
or something. But I mean, it's not even a good video. But yeah, there's 74 views, and I put it up 3 days ago, which is
Well, part of that is everybody's eager to get back to
yeah,
Hamfest. And I forgot to mention that tonight, the one in February, but we can mention it our next one because I think it's right after our February presentation. Yeah, because I believe it's the 20th of February is the next Hamfest.
Which reminds me, Chuck, any further news on our proposed Hamfest this spring? Is that being put on hold or?
Well, yeah, since you brought it up, I guess I'll talk about it. I'm working with Dick K's call sign off the top of my head. Our Hamfest chair, and we are looking at, well, part of the problem is Boulder County. It's very restrictive. Okay. So we're looking at alternatives, and one of the things we're talking about possibly doing is doing like a tailgate type Hamfest outside. So he's looking into that. He's actually looking at parking lots right now where we could, mark them off and things like that. So we're looking at alternatives. I basically told him, I said, we need to have a Hamfest this year. Even if we, charge more for tables and have people come in free, whatever, we need to do something. It's been 2 years. In Carts Hamfest, they had about 300 people. I was at a meeting last night where I got the numbers, and they had a nice turnout. They made a little bit of money off of it. So, I think even if we break even, it would be worth it because, to be honest, people just we're tired of being cooped up.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, the numbers are still going up here and there places, but
yeah,
at some point, let's just go do something because we're going crazy out there.
I know I'm a member of the Denver Amateur Radio Club as well down in Denver because they have a couple of good nets, and they're actually a pretty big group. I'm wondering if they're going to have a Hamfest this year, and if they do, I'm kind of wondering if maybe we can do something with them.
Well, I haven't heard they're having one. This next one is the Aurora Repeater Association in cooperation with RM Ham. So the two of them are putting that one together. I haven't, BARC's isn't until October, so theirs is still quite far away, and I don't know if they're going to have one or not. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. We definitely, like I said, we're trying to do something. I keep meeting with Dick every so often and saying, okay, what are we going to do here, Dick? We got to do something, man. So.
Whoa, there he is.
The one and only is here.
Finally.
Had to finish up dinner. Oh, I guess I better lead by example here. If you could put your call sign next to your name, that would be appreciated.
Oh, it says Zoom, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got to change it because I'm using the club's account. See some new people online too, which is good. Pat makes it easier for Pat to take names down if you put call signs on.
I guess Kat said they might be late.
Okay.
How you doing, Dave?
Oh, I'm doing well. How you doing, Mike?
Doing pretty good. I kind of missed you the last couple of luncheons. I got some info for you.
Okay. Yeah. Things have been busy for me.
Yeah, come on, this is only a hobby. I mean, what do you expect?
Oh yeah, I know. I know. I'm hoping I'll get to the next one.
That's 1 week from today.
Yes, it is. Fortunately, I'm glad I got 2 shots. My third booster, my booster and my flu shot all at the same time. So hopefully Wednesday I'll feel much better.
Cool beans. In the Army, they call it the square needle.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard about a second booster?
Yeah, they're supposed to be out shortly.
Yeah, the first booster I got was the end of September.
Probably every 6 months we'll be getting shots now. Wow, it feels like I'm in Uncle Sam's military again.
No more boosters for me. I'm done.
Are you boosted out?
Is there a program tonight?
As far as a presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
What is it?
Mr. Mike, WB0MH, is going to talk about call signs.
Call sign structure.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great presentation. That'll be lots of fun.
It is.
Hey, guys.
Hey, David.
What's Bob Smith's call sign?
Whose call sign?
Bob Smith.
November 0, Zulu Fox Victor.
November 0.
Zulu
Fox Victor.
Okay.
From Broomfield.
There you are.
November 0, Bravo Alpha.
No. That's, wait till he calls on you.
No, you're good, Larry. If you want to, in the right-hand corner, there's a little box. You can rename yourself. You can put your call sign in.
Where?
Right click on it.
Yeah, if you highlight your picture, there should be 3 little dots that come up, and you just click on it, and there's an option to rename, and you can rename it and put your call sign in.
Oh. Mute my audio.
There's David.
Oh, there, rename. Okay, you
There
want
you
to
go.
rename that? Okay.
Yeah, if you just put your call sign in. Thank you, David.
Yep.
How about Larry Murphy?
Oh, they're working on it right now.
Okay. Hey, how's your weather there in Longmont? Nice?
Cold.
Drizzle, freezing rain.
Yeah, no kidding.
At about, I would say about 2:30 this afternoon, I think the high degree was about 21 degrees with a real feel of about 11.
Yeah.
Well, my weather here is a little bit better. It was 65 today and sunny. Good state weather.
Up there in Cheyenne?
No, he's in Arizona.
Oh,
nice.
I was gonna
Okay.
say.
Okay.
60 degrees where?
Yeah.
Pat, it took me an hour and a half to get to work, which normally is a 20-minute drive, because there was like a sheet of ice all the way to work. 119 was shut down for about almost a half mile because of like 4 accidents just west of I-25. So it was a brutal morning.
Chuck, could you have taken could you have gone down to 52 and taken 52 to I-25? I mean 52 to 287?
I could have, but I live right off of 119,
okay.
Which is Firestone Boulevard over here by me.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally 2 miles from the interstate. So there's times I can actually hear traffic off the interstate.
That I believe. That I believe. I think I know your area pretty well.
Yeah, I'm in the subdivision about, was it 4 or 5 years ago, where the house exploded.
Yeah, actually, where that house exploded,
Mhm.
that house belonged to the brother and sister-in-law of one of my former team leads at IBM.
Yeah,
That was unfortunate at the time.
it was. Yeah, he was he worked for the city of Firestone, so it was. I wasn't around when it went up. I was coming home and saw the smoke and the helicopters and lights, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I come in and drive by, hard to get in. Where I get into the subdivision was the other side of the subdivision, so it wasn't a big deal for me to get in, but it was messy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And then there was a lot of politics afterwards. They actually leveled the house and the house next to it, and they built a park.
Yeah.
And I believe the city is maintaining the park. And I think one of the energy companies actually paid to have the park built. So we've got 2 nice parks in our subdivision now, which is really,
Yeah.
Is that where
nice.
Vicky lives?
No, it's in Firestone where that house blew.
Oh, Firestone.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely unfortunate at the time.
Wayne, if you could put your call sign next to your name, we would appreciate it. Get a big turnout here tonight, Mike.
Looks like it.
I hope you don't have stage fright.
On the icy road.
Should you put your name plus N0BA?
Yeah, you can put your name in there and then. your
Okay,
phone.
okay, we'll do that.
Okay, got it.
I'll put, okay.
On the icy roads, I'm from Arizona, so newer here, but as I was backing out the garage in the driveway, I started sliding down, and I decided it's probably not a good day to drive today.
No. Well, I had a hard time getting in my garage when I got home, so.
Well, I was really worried about my wife slipping on the stairs again outside her apartment. She slipped about a week and a half ago, and we had to take her by 911. We had to call 911 to take her to the hospital.
Wow. Yeah, you got to be careful. It's dangerous out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've got problems with our landlord here anyway with not fixing anything. So he's probably going to get taken to court. But I was really worried about ice on the stairs again.
Yeah.
That gives her definitely.
Larry, how's that new step IR antenna working for you?
Yeah,
Who's that, Don?
Is that done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sliding away gives a new definition. That Simon and Garfunkel song, "Slip a Sliding Away."
Yep, that's true. That's true.
So how's the antenna working, Larry?
Works good. It took us a week to figure out how to retract them when the weather's bad. It's really simple, but you gotta follow the rules that the regulations that they wrote up for storing the elements was very difficult. We had to rewrite the book.
Oh, well, I see it behind your place there. I walk by your house about 2-3 times a week, and I finally saw it.
Yeah, it is pretty much inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Stop in sometime.
Yeah, stop in sometime, have a cup of coffee.
Well, I just might do that. I went by the other day, your garage was open, and I couldn't tell if anyone was there or not. I can only see about the distance from the road to your antenna, so that's not all that far.
How are you doing these days?
Oh, trying to keep from slipping and sliding. I didn't walk today, that's for sure.
Yeah, we walked out to the car and that was a thrill.
I bet. Well, our drive's got a little bit of a slope on it, and that concrete with that frozen ice on it made an excellent ski jump.
Hey, you guys are all making my point why we spend winter in Arizona.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, have you met WX7 Lima there yet?
No.
Pat Angstrom.
WX7 what?
X7 Lima.
Lima, no.
You're okay.
I actually don't know. We had the monthly meeting the other night. I stayed home. So no, what's his name?
Let's see. You got me. I think it's Art.
Art? No, I haven't met him, but I got 2 more months to solve that issue.
Yeah, there you go. Now they've got a pretty good sized club, don't they?
Yeah, actually they've got, they claim they're the largest club in Arizona. 140 members or something?
Yeah, are they all from Green Valley there or come in from?
Well, there are lots of snowbirds.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Chuck, do you
Yes,
know if
sir.
there's anybody affected by the Marshall fires on our club?
In the club, I haven't heard. Where I work, we had 2 people that totally lost their homes. I also read an article on ARRL. I guess, oh, Jerry can probably talk more about this. What's his name? Who did the Jim Andrews, who did the presentation on amateur TV? Was it himself or was it one of his relatives, Jerry, who lost their home?
It was Jim.
It was Jim. Okay. Because he's done a presentation for us, so
Joe?
and he's been you know, with BARC and all that area for a long time. So
Hey, Ed, give me a call sign again. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
yeah, if you could put your call sign next to your name, we would appreciate it. Makes things easy for Pat when he's documenting stuff. So
I'm trying. I
know for my company's Broomfield office, if I would have had to go into the office, it was in the evacuation zone. They actually wound up evacuating our office about 7:30 that night. And I don't think they're going to go back for about 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't heard anybody that far is kind of hard to hit the repeaters.
Yeah.
So if anybody was on that area, it'd probably be use Echo Link. So wow, we've got a big crowd tonight. This is beautiful. I love it. Welcome everybody to the first general meeting of 2022. Another year, hopefully better than the last 2.
Anything's better than last year.
That or it's going to be a 3-peat.
This
I'm not
was-
sure which one.
You haven't seen the stock market today, have you?
No, sir. I don't like
Okay,
to.
I'm
I don't
back.
do that because news is depressing to
I
me.
just got a phone call from Joe Callahan. He's trying to sign in.
Oh, okay.
I told him to use the click out of the splatter article, and he's still having trouble.
Okay.
But he's going to keep trying.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks, Jerry.
Hey, Chuck.
I think just as that phone call came in, you were going to ask me a question about the fire.
Yeah. Do you know of anybody
And
who lost?
I can confirm that B-Cares lost 2 members, totally lost their house. One was Jim Andrews, our ATV guy, and another fellow by the name of Matt Holliday. He lost his house. So that's what we know so far.
Both my sister and her daughter, my niece, lost their houses.
Oh no.
That's too bad.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Chuck,
Yes, sir.
got a question for you.
Go ahead, Don.
Have you heard
Nickel in your
anything
question,
about the Forest Service charging a fee for people setting up repeaters in the mountains?
And so I took a picture of it on his.
I know there was discussion about that at one point. I haven't seen anything else about it.
And you put
Well,
Zoom meeting.
according to Shiwai, the Forest Service is upping the fee or trying to up the fee if we have repeaters and antennas in Forest Service property to $1,400 a year.
Ouch.
Oh, wow.
What are they paying now? What's the average now?
150.
Okay. So they're
So,
basically trying to drive us out of the forest is what it comes down to.
Well, actually, it's the same fee as for a commercial outfit. So the ARRL is recommending that everybody get on the Forest Service website and say that, hey, we're not for profit. We shouldn't pay the same as a for-profit company.
Well, aren't most ham repeaters at a commercial site? Don't we share a site with the big boys?
A lot of them we do. There's a lot of them that do share that. But there are some people out there that have their own repeaters that aren't shared with commercial.
Is that national forest or state forest?
National forest.
bring power and road and all that to a mountaintop's a big deal. That's not for the average guy to handle on his own.
Yeah, we've got, 3 or 4 repeaters at Shiaway that are coming under that issue.
Well, we need to let them know we won't be available for communications in a disaster need on their forest.
A suggestion would be to, write letters to your congressmen or senators, let them know that the amateur radio lobby is adamant about not raising those fees. I mean, you're right, it will affect emergency services if we can't access the repeaters in time of need.
But how many hams would fall under, how many repeaters would fall underneath that?
I'd have to look. I'm not sure. Because like Ed was saying, a lot of them are already on commercial sites, and we either pay the commercial folks or they donate the space. So
I wonder if Colorado Repeater Association would have the information.
oh yeah, I'm sure they would, where the repeaters are located and stuff.
Yeah. Those repeater associations, I mean, all the amateur radio clubs are nonprofits, or so are the repeater associations. Maybe they should all band together and say, look, we're nonprofits. We can understand charging $1,400 for personal repeaters on Forest Service land, but we're nonprofit. Give us a break.
Well, I'm sure the ARRL's already got people working on that as well. They're really good about all that stuff. So
yep. Kind of makes you wonder how many amateur radio operators we have in Congress right now. There's got to be some.
That would be interesting to see. All right, if you don't have your call sign next to your name, if you would do that, we'd appreciate it. So our secretary can jot it down and show that you showed up.
I am.
Got a nice turnout tonight. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
How many people
Looks like,
have checked
it looks
in?
like
So
looks
far,
like a total
28.
of 28.
Yeah.
Looks like a total of 28, Chuck.
I know, I see that. I think our biggest online one was been, trying to remember, I think we had one. Normally we average about between 25 and 30.
I think the biggest we had was the board meeting. I think we had like 33 people, 33, 34.
Yeah, because we needed a vote.
Yeah.
The annual meeting, we met the requirement.
Yeah. The quorum.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, because we definitely want to get that type of business out of the way. So, well, glad to see everybody on tonight. Hope everybody's staying safe with the exception of Pat, who's enjoying the nice warm weather, just staying out, got their ice skates out when they go outside, or just don't go outside, one of the two.
I don't have any travel issues here.
No. You got little you got like wheels on your skis there, right? For when they practice skiing.
So my bicycle has 2 wheels on it.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think you'd want to ride a bicycle out here today. That would be very dangerous. Of course, you don't want to drive out here today too. Sometimes people just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Arizona usually has 2 seasons, hot and hotter.
Yeah.
That's true. That's why I left Phoenix in 2000.
This time of year it's perfect.
Yeah.
Average high in January is close to 70, February is close to 70.
Yep.
That's okay. I'll get my 70-degree weather next month. I'm going to Miami, Florida for a week. So.
Oh, there you go. See, you know how to do it too.
Yeah.
Miami and. Go ahead, David.
You see, they had tornado warnings in South Florida.
I didn't see that.
Between the Naples and Fort Myers.
Okay, that'll be away from where I'm at. So
It's
Yeah,
just odd to see them.
it's
declared.
Florida.
Yeah.
It happens. You know, I lived in northern Florida for almost 10 years, and wintertime, well, at least in northern Florida, we actually got snow on occasions, which was weird. But we did. I lived in the area where they call it Southern Alabama, or the Redneck Riviera. So
yeah.
Yeah, we're going down there for a couple days in Miami. So we're going to take a quick cruise to the Bahamas and then come back and come home. So
Sounds like fun.
yeah, it's a birthday gift.
Yeah. I'm stuck working, so I can't get away from work right now.
I told work I'm taking off, so we got some big things going on. It's like, well, you guys knew I was leaving, so
yeah,
find somebody else to do it.
Downside of being a federal contractor is you gotta get approval from corporate security and agency security before you can leave the country.
Right. Yeah, I don't have that restriction. I don't have to worry about it.
I do.
Hey, we're up to 29. We're getting there. Again, thanks everybody for showing up this evening. Glad to see a lot of folks. If you're just joining, if you put your call sign next to your name, we'd appreciate it. Makes it easier for tracking purposes.
What if you don't want to be tracked?
We will find a way. We're like Uncle Sam. We'll find a way to track you.
We'll put a microchip on you.
There it is.
Make sure you throw away your cell phone.
Cell phone. You don't even need that. We're going to micro track you when you're sleeping.
I think it's a little too late because the FCC is already tracking you through your license. They know exactly where you are.
Between Alexa and Siri and all those other stuff, they'll find you.
Yep. Google indexes everything.
I've come to the realization there's people who know more about me than I know about myself.
That's probably true.
Especially if you ever held any kind of government security clearance.
Which I do right now.
Yeah, mine expired about 20 years ago, but I used to as well.
I'm in the process of switching job roles and federal agencies, and thankfully mine will transfer.
Well, that's good.
Going from HHS to FAA.
The government has a new classification for classified information. It's burned before reading.
I gotta tell that to some of my coworkers. They'd probably get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah, that goes along with the new handgun that the Colt Armalite people have come up with. They call it the Congressional. It doesn't work and you can't fire it.
And Mike's 715 show is different than the 655. So please stay by and stay on, and he'll make you laugh some more.
Yep.
All right, we got a couple more minutes. Let's see. I got a couple of board members on here, which is good. Missing a couple, but that's okay.
You got more than a couple.
Yeah, I think I got more than I usually have. So I don't see Don or Doug, Cat or Bryan.
Cat or Bryan said they'd be late.
Yeah, okay. Who else am I missing? Got Mike, Mark, Jerry, yourself, Pat.
Haven't seen Ramon
Steve.
in a while.
Steve.
Which
Yeah,
one?
Ramon's on.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
A0.
Hey,
RS.
It's probably at the bottom of the list.
Yes, Ramon.
Yeah. He's got the, it looks like the ISS background on.
Yeah.
I'm just
See you
trying to
there.
fill out my WinLink Wednesday form for the first time.
Okay.
Trying to do that.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I should have joined that this evening.
Yeah.
So did everybody catch the rocket launch on Thursday with a couple of amateur radio satellites that were launched into space?
No, I've been
No.
so swamped with work lately.
So there'll be a couple more satellites you could try to bounce your signal off of and make contacts. So
Yeah.
There was more than one amateur radio?
yeah, there was a couple.
Oh, I
there-
thought there was only one. Okay,
Well,
well,
there-
I'm out of date.
There was Hades, which is going to do FM and also SSTV. EASat, which is FM. And then there was a set of 8 that were built in Israel by 8 different schools.
Yeah.
They'll all be on the
Whoa.
same frequency. But only one is going to be active when they're all in the same footprint.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. But I heard the ESAT one apparently has an issue with the antenna. You can receive it, but it's very weak. And Hades, they haven't fully activated that one yet. So
Are they all gonna be in geosync orbit? Or are they all gonna be in geosync orbit? Or they are, do we know what the orbits are gonna be like for that?
I have no idea. I have been looking for TLEs and I haven't found any yet, except for the
They're all-
pre-launch ones.
Yeah,
They're all in-
geosync is really hard a lot of fuel to get there.
Yeah.
They're all in low
Pretty
Earth or all in low Earth orbit. You know,
Yeah.
they're about 15 minutes overhead. And, you know,
28 and a half degrees.
it varies. I mean, they're moving around the planet, you know, so each pass is at a different elevation to you.
Yeah, think of it as SO50, AO27, you know, like them. Same concept.
They, you know, their orbit is such that they move east to west as well as north to south. So each pass is a little different.
Just like the ISS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks like 32, Chuck.
Wow, I'm doing something right.
Well, we now have a
At
quorum.
least this month you are.
Yeah. Next month, nobody may show up. I don't know.
It's too cold to go, Chuck, it's too cold to go outside, so everybody's.
That's true. Of course, they could be on the radio trying to make contacts. I mean, you know, of course, I don't know what the
Yeah.
bands are like this night. I haven't been on, so.
Yeah.
Hands are horrible.
Are they?
Yeah, it's the A index and the K index are way up there.
Okay. All right. We got about another minute. If you have not put your call sign next to your name, we would ask that you please do so. There's a little 3 buttons right hand corner of your picture that you can go and change your name. And